Remaining above the political fray of personally divisive social issues, the Lincoln Club of San Diego focuses solely on education and the economy.
What the Lincoln Club has been able to be is what I would call the rudder in many respects. It's something that's not talked about a lot, but I think what we've been able to do is to influence some of the leadership in San Diego in terms of stepping up for the right causes as it relates to fiscal responsibility in San Diego.
The reason I've been a member of the Lincoln Club is it stands for business interests, and it understands, or the people in it understand, the power of the free enterprise system.
When you think back over the 20-plus years of the Lincoln Club, Alan Royster's vision for this was tremendous. He started it as a business organization that was going to focus on things like education, like the economy.
Comprised of business and civic leaders, the Lincoln Club membership frequently enjoys exclusive access to national, state, and local leaders. This year has been marked by extraordinary access and accomplishments.
By about 11 o'clock, it became clear Sanders had won this election. He called the campaign a vigorous and healthy debate about the future of San Diego, but in the end, voters had made their choice, Sanders said, calling this election a citywide consensus for change.
This year, you can see that the Lincoln Club has had a much bigger effect on what's happening in the city, from the first mayoral debate to the involvement in these city races to the amount of conversation that's gone back and forth between officials about the Lincoln Club. I mean, it just is there in everybody's thinking that the Lincoln Club is playing a role.
The Lincoln Club hosted Steve Francis, Donna Fry, Jerry Sanders, Pat Shea, and Mike Shelby. 10 News reporter Kim Edwards attended the town hall-style meeting.
The Lincoln Club got in the batter's box and stood up for something and said, we want to take a leadership position in getting the agenda out in front of the general public in terms of who our potential mayoral candidates were or are, what some of their views might be.
We had to focus on leadership, and so city council races, and most importantly the mayor race. With a strong mayor form of government, we needed a leader who could start to rebuild what we've got here. That's done, and I feel very comfortable with that, and I'm glad the Lincoln Club was so involved in that race.
Local labor unions historically outspend their business counterparts 10-1. In 2005, the Lincoln Club demonstrated leadership by challenging the corrupting influence of unions.
The point that we were trying to make when we sued the city regarding its policy on how funds can be gathered for campaigns really dealt with a fairness issue.
You know, it's a shame we have to go do that, but you know, and unfortunately organized labor has the ability to tax its members, with or without their permission necessarily, depending upon which card they signed and where they signed that card, to be able to tax their members and then use those monies to influence the outcome of elections.
In this case, the unions had an unfair advantage, and I don't mean rank and file, but the union leadership had orchestrated a way so that they could make very large contributions almost instantly, and there was no way to offset that.
The Lincoln Club's role has been elevated to identify and actively support quality leaders to fix our problems and restore pride in San Diego.
The need has never been greater. I mean, if you look at the city itself, the focus on city officials has been stronger now and needs to be stronger now. I think in the past we've, in a way, sometimes spent too much time on perhaps national and maybe state issues and not enough on local issues.
In terms of the leadership on the city council has been somewhat void. More recently, they have been making decisions, which is terrific. And I believe you elect people to make decisions, not to put them off for other generations. So if we can elect people who are willing to make decisions and step up to the plate themselves, and we can support those decisions that they're making, then that's one of the things we should be focusing on.
Now that the last 2 seats to be filled in the City Council, and hopefully we'll have our candidates there, I think we can really start to move forward again.
Most of all, they've chosen a new path for the city of San Diego.
Lincoln Club members have a lot to be proud of, but we must remain engaged. 2006 and beyond will bring more challenges and more opportunities to make a difference.
I would not want to see any other companies leaving San Diego. And I would want to do whatever I could to encourage those companies to stay. And I throw the Chargers into the term companies.
The economy, it is in fact in the framework of Tom Friedman, the flat world, it is flat. And San Diego, fortunately, can benefit tremendously from that economy.
We all know that we have a big problem here with Lindbergh meeting the demand sometime in the next 10 to 15 years. Well, we simply won't be able to meet it, and we will have a situation like LaGuardia, where it costs a lot more to fly in and out and where delays are terrible.
It's about jobs. It's about high-paying jobs. And the Chargers certainly can be there. We should be focusing our attention on supporting economic activity and job creation. So maybe we lobby and work with the organizations to help them understand that this is a business, not just an entertainment activity that you see on television.
Today we can be more proud of this organization than any time in its history. I think we've made great strides. We've had a great executive director in Chris.
I think we now know that our biggest business is here at home. And I think that this year we've made a bigger difference in trying to come to grips with the problems of this city than we ever have before.
The organization does a tremendous amount of things where people can get involved in every element of our town, our economy. And it's that participation which makes the Lincoln Club special.
It's in everybody's interest to have a rising tide raising all boats, to have a pie that grows before you fight over trying to cut it up. And that's what the Lincoln Club is for and what it's all about, and it's not about social issues.
And I think we just need to continue to build this organization. It's a place where most business leaders, most thoughtful community leaders can feel comfortable.
Rome was not conquered in a day. We have to keep going back on these issues. We have to keep applying pressure.
I think we should continue to do the right kind of things that we've been doing for the last number of years, and more so becoming more engaged in the last few years with the energy that we have to become on the forefront of leading the way and also holding our hands to the rudder at the same time.